Well, hello everybody. Welcome back, Wolfpack, to another, possibly the final video. Well, it won't be the final video actually, because my friend, the friend that actually introduced me to Attack on Titan and got me into anime, obviously, actually told me that there's more OVA episodes that I've forgotten about. There's actually 2 or 3 more, he said. So that means we're gonna have 3 more Attack on Titan episodes to come out. Don't know when they'll come out, but I would imagine in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, look out for those guys. A bit more Attack on Titan, just a little bit more, you know, because it's over. I have to wait 6 months. I don't want to. Yeah, anyway, now that part's out of the way. Down to the serious stuff. So, welcome to the review and the ranking of the characters that we meet in this season. Now, when I did this for season 3, I got absolutely slated. So what I've done with this one is I've had a really long think about where I want to put these characters, you know, and I do think in this season I was actually being a lot more detailed in my reasonings and my reactions. So I do think I've got more of an understanding of some of the characters. So I hope that this one's more to your liking. But again, guys, please remember, this is a personal preference. This is how I feel. You know, it's not just because my opinion's different to your guys. It doesn't mean that your opinion's wrong, my opinion's right, my opinion's wrong, your opinion's right. It's just that my opinion might be a little bit different to yours. So bear that in mind, yeah? And I do hope you enjoy this because I've had a long, hard think about this. Anyway, before we get into it, I just wanted to let you know that we're going to get back to doing JoJo and Jujutsu Kaisen. We're going to be doing one of each every day from Monday. So there'll be 2 videos a day. And yeah, if you want to go and check out the rest of the Attack on Titan videos again, be my guest. I would very much appreciate it. And also check out the polls that we got out. Currently got the poll running for which anime we want to look at next, react to next. And currently winning is Hunter x Hunter. So, you know, get on there, guys, so you can select what we react to next. So without further ado, guys, let's get to the rankings. Okay, yeah, so like I said, guys, I had a real long, hard think about some of these characters. So I'm actually excited to get them off my chest, basically. So, where should we start? Now, there's a lot of characters in this, and you know, I think I've chosen 34, which, you know, it's a lot of characters. I think there's probably some more on there that I might have forgotten, but I think these ones are the main ones that we can consider main characters. No doubt I've forgotten someone. Anyway, who should we start with? Well, I think we're going to start with someone that is nice and simple. You know, we only see them a couple episodes. And I think that would be Keith. Now, as you remember, I don't really rate Keith. I don't really like him. He's just a real dick, you know. I just don't really see his involvement in this series apart from to help out Grisha. So I'm just going to plonk him here. You know, just get him straight out of the way. Don't really like him. Didn't appear that much. Now, so the next one I want to look at is actually Zeke. Now, Zeke, obviously, rest in peace. Well, I don't know if we want to say rest in peace because, you know, he was a bit of a dick who just in it for himself. You know, he was willing to turn on everybody at a moment's notice. And then he got blown to smithereens, and they were very graphic with the visualization of his death. Now, I think he was truly in it for himself. And he was the one that he was at the forefront of wanting to use Historia as like a baby magnet, baby boomer. And so I just, you know, I can't really like him for that. So I'm just going to put him here. Wouldn't miss him, don't miss him that much. Don't hate him. I think he's been a good character throughout this series. You know, he's just appeared at the right times. You know, the kind of character that you feel like might be necessary for a series, but for all the wrong reasons. So yeah, I mean, I rate him. And as you know, I'm not going to miss him that much. All right, next one. Now, I'm going to go for Grisha's dad. Now, Grisha's dad's a bit of an enigma, you know. He's bought into all of this Malian propaganda, you know. He just believes and, eats everything that they spoon feed him. And he's trying to pass that on to Zeke after having failed with Grisha. And I don't think it's his fault, you know. I just think that it's just the way that their society is. And, you know, I think he's just accepted it. You know, he's accepted it as the norm and that they are being punished for their ancestors' problems. Now, I don't agree with that, but I can't not respect it. I'm just going to put him right here in the middle. You know? Okay, so let's go for someone who has been important. And I'm going to go for Elena next. Now, Elena. You know, we were introduced to Elena officially after the mission, you know, when they appear. I think it's episode number 9. Yeah, it's episode number 9 because it's the one after Sasha died. And, you know, whilst that wasn't the first episode we saw them, because we saw them in early episodes, but like the first proper introduction was episode 9. And, you know, everything was all mysterious, and then, you know, why is she volunteering? And then as the series goes along, she becomes more and more suspicious. And then everything finally comes out. And you're thinking, well, considering she's from a conquered Malian land, she buys into Zeke's plan because, you know, she doesn't like these Titans. And she wants to cripple Mali at the same time. So I can't blame her for that. And I don't hate her. I think she's actually really good. And we saw in the last episode that she just shot that guy straight off dead, you know, for dissing the guys in the cell. And you've got to respect her for that she's no holds barred. You fuck up, you're dead. And I got to respect that. And I genuinely like her because I think she believes herself, just like Zeke, that what they're doing is actually the best way, you know, avoid war. Even though I think they're a bit naive in that thought, you know, just because you're going to euthanize them and sterilize them doesn't mean there's not going to be war. You know, they're still going to try, you know, there's still going to be 80 years of violence. You know, I just think they're being very naive with that. And then especially, you know, they can still do the rumbling. So I think she's very naive in that. She's a follower, but I really like her, you know. I think she's a really good character, and she does bring that link between Zeke and the Eldians, you know. She gives us that link. So I'm actually going to put her here in Lover because I actually do like her. And she's, you know, she's very honourable. And I mean, I know she was deceitful, but like I said, she shot that guy. She shot the captain. You know, I like her. All right, now, this is the first time that we see Piek. So we saw her as the cart titan in the last season, in the last series, but we didn't actually see the person, the human. And we see her in this, and then we first see her, and we just think, oh, look at her, she's nothing. Kind of a pointless thing, but she's actually a right little deceitful little cow. And, you know, at the end, she makes you think she's going to betray them, and then you're like, what? And then at the end, just like that epic bombshell, you are the enemy of humanity, Zeke, and boom, here comes the help. And so, I think she's a very conniving character, very good. I mean, I don't think the Cart Titan's a very good Titan, but she's so smart, and she was able to notice that something was off before the attack, and so she was able to call out to her friends to come and rescue them. And so, I think she's. I don't know whether or not to put her in a meh or I love her. I think I put her in a lover purely because I think of her intelligence, and I think I really like it, and I think she does a really good job. Alright, who should we go for next? I don't really know. Okay. Let's go for the girl that Sasha saved, and I can't for the life of me remember her name. Ugh. Now, I mean, she's just like this sweet, innocent girl, and you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, shit. something just fell off my table. Oops. She's like this sweet girl, and you're like, oh wow, and she actually shows compassion and everything towards Falco and Gabi, and it's kind of what makes Gabi doubt what everything she believed. And she was the one that said, why don't you go and visit this guy, the chef, Victor? Oh my god, I'm terrible with the name. Piccolo. Why don't you go and help him? He's in Mali and he can maybe get you out of here. And you're thinking, wow, she's a really nice girl. And then boom, finds out that she's the one that killed Sasha. And she just all of a sudden wants to kill her. And I thought that was a great twist. It's just this calm and so nice, gentle character. And then all of a sudden, boom, wants to kill her. I thought that was brilliant. And I really do love her. I really do. I mean, I don't think we can be without her because she wasn't in too many episodes, but I just loved the way that she was written, in the sense that she's so calm, collected, and then all of a sudden, you find out who she is, and then she finds out that Gabi kills Sasha, and then there's this massive change. So I really like her. All right, next one. Oof, there's so many to choose from. There's still so many to choose from. I don't know. Right, let's go for Grisha. Now. Grisha. I respected Grisha, but this season made me, I don't know, the way he tried to brainwash Zeke into his own beliefs, purely because of that. And then obviously we know that he repeated the process with Eren. And the thing about Grisha's character is that he's so well written and so important that even though he technically died in essentially the second episode, even though we don't technically see that until later on, we're still talking about his importance, and we're still seeing flashbacks of him right here in the end of season 4. And that just shows how important he is, and how well he's being written, and how good the character development is, and the writer. And I actually, the way he flipped out when Zeke's gonna fail, he's not gonna be who they want him to be, and the way he freaked out about that, kind of, it's like, you're not doing it for Zeke, then you're doing it for you, because you couldn't be a Titan. So he went down in my book, and I don't respect him, and I don't like his character in this season, the way he was portrayed in that episode. At first you're thinking, oh yeah, he's all right, but no. I mean, I know a lot of you might disagree with me here, don't hate me, but I'm gonna put him here, and I wouldn't miss him at all. I just don't like him at all. Don't like him. Now, there's not very many characters in here that you can. I'm struggling to find. I've struggled to think of ones to hate. Because there aren't that many. But I did think of one, and that is Galliard. The guy that's taken over the Jaw Titan. I just do not like him at all. He's so cocky, so arrogant. He's like he's learned nothing from Reiner, and he's got that sense of entitlement, and I just don't like him. I don't respect him. That might change in the second part, but he's just a really dislikable guy. Just don't like him at all. Like, at all. Now, I'm going to go with so we've gone with the hate them now. I'm going to go for one where I can't be without. And that is actually going to be, who should we put up there? I think we're going to go with Hanji. Now, you all know that I love Hanji, and that opinion is never going to change. Because I just love how every time she's introduced, you always seem to want to laugh. You know, she's really, really good. And, you know, she just, you know, the only thing you don't like about her is that she doubts herself and, you know, she doesn't quite believe that she has the capabilities of doing and leading. And I don't believe that, you know, and I think that she's really going to come to the forefront in part 2, and she's really going to show how important she is. So yeah. All right. Now, this one might actually surprise you. I don't know if it will, because, you know, it could be a normal opinion. But I'm actually going to put Falco up here as well. And I'll tell you why. Now, I really like Falco. At first I was like, okay, who's this brat? But then, you know, as the series progressed, you're looking at Falco and you're going, it's just like this normal kid. And all he wants is for his family to be safe. And then it's like, well, actually, you know, your brother is already qualified. You don't need it. And then he's doing it while Ryan is like, you can't let Gabi do this because she'll be dead in 13 years. Do it for her. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I will. So everything he does is for honor. And then when they get captured, he's the one that's sort of with Gabi and like convincing Gabi, talking to her, keeping her sane. And I really, really, really like Falco. And I know a lot of you are probably going to disagree with me there, but I don't think you're going to change my mind. Now, let's go for the greedy woman. Now, it took me a while to think where I wanted to put this one, because when I saw her in that episode and I saw her leave, you know, it's like, all right, she's in on it. And it turns out she was, in a way, but she's only in it for the money and the resources, you know. Oh, well, we helped modernize you. Yeah, so that when you take over the island, you know, you can get all the resources. And I generally don't think she had the best interest in heart. And then she found out that we found out Mikasa was a royal. And she was like, oh, yeah, but she still wanted all the resources. So I put her here. I don't hate her because, you know, she, at the end of the day, she's looking after her nation's best interest. But I can't really do much more than that with her. Now, Flogel, he supports Eren. He's a Jaegerist. But we don't really see him that much. So I'm just going to put him right here in the middle. We don't see him too much. He has a lot of support. I think he might become a little bit more important in the second part. Because I think, obviously, the battle's coming to Shigansha now. And they're going to focus there. So I think maybe he'll come more to the forefront. But, yeah. Now, you know, there's just so many good characters in this season that it's so hard. It was so hard to pick bad characters, you know. And so when we think of bad characters, the next one that I'm actually going to choose was actually Zeke's mother. And again, she's kind of like Grisha. I really did kind of respect her because what she wanted to do. But I just didn't like the way she treated Zeke. You know, treated him like a tool. And, you know, pushed Zeke into Dr. Xavier's arms. And, you know, if they'd have been good parents, normal parents, I know that they wanted the restoration and everything, but to be honest, that's never going to happen, is it? It never was and never would. Purely because there's so much of a minority. And she went down in my book so badly because of the way she treated her. You know, it's her own son. So I didn't hate her, but I'm just going to put her in I wouldn't miss him. So yeah. Again, like I said, there's not too many characters that I could really hate. But the one character that I do hate, and I just hated his arrogance and the fact that he, you know, he's a Mr. Know-It-All, was Willy Tiber. Now, again, I think this one's going to be controversial. I don't like Willy Tiber after thinking back about it. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get everybody to unite to fight the island, even though I'm one of these guys. I'm actually one myself. So he's kind of a bit like Zeke. But I didn't like how he did it. He's just like, yeah, I'm so good. I'm the best. He's just, I don't know. He's a pompous prick. So I didn't like him. And, you might disagree with me. I mean, he's very important because his death and countless other deaths is actually what sparked the world to unite. But I just didn't like him. Sorry. If you disagree with me, then that's fair enough. That's your prerogative. But I just didn't like him. Now, I'm going to go for Connie. Connie's, he doesn't really do much, He's in the series, but you don't really notice him that much. He doesn't do much. There's not that much of him. He was kind of like Sasha. And, Sasha's death was obviously impactful. And you kind of look at it and you go, right. Maybe the writer wanted to get rid of a death so that it could spark the storyline. And you look at it and you go, right, well, which characters can we afford to lose? And the two that you could think of was probably Sasha and Connie. Now, Sasha, I think killing off Sasha more of an emotional impact because a lot of people, like myself included, really liked Sasha, really, got attached to her because she was funny. And, she had the family and the story and, she had a little bit extra than Connie. And I think that's why they chose Sasha. And for me, Connie doesn't really do much more. He's just there, there as like a psychic, like a Robin. So I'm just going to put him here in the meh, nothing special about him. All right. So talking about Sasha. Now, I don't want to go to Sasha just yet, but I do want to have a look at Sasha's father. Now, you've got to have mad respect for Sasha's father for what he did in that episode. When he found out this was the one that killed Sasha, he forgave her. I mean, this is going to be pretty recent as well, the whole thought of her dying. It didn't happen that long ago. And he just forgave her and accepted it. And for me, that was just great. And I really respected him. And I know he didn't have like a massive portrayal in the series, only in a couple episodes. But for me, it was just so important. Just the way he forgave her. It's like, wow. Brilliant. Alright, so, gonna go for a biggie. Now, this one surprised me. And that's Flock. Now, when we finished season 3, I hated Flock, A lot of people did. But I didn't hate him. I understood him a little bit. But in this season, he's really come into his own. He hasn't been like a massive character. He's been at the forefront quite a bit. But he actually appeared in a few episodes. But he's like Eren's number 2, as it were. And I don't know. I like him because I respect that he's found a new purpose. He was deflated. He was dejected. He couldn't understand why they'd chosen Armin over Erwin, and he couldn't accept it. And didn't understand why everybody was just okay with it. And then you're thinking, all right, well, this guy's a douche. And then he comes into this season and he's got like this new vigor and he's actually got this purpose. And, it might not be the correct purpose, but he's like, understands that Eren could, it's either Eren saving them or the military that's currently in power doing nothing. And he sees that and he jumps on that and he's like, right, I want to do something about it. And he does. And I really like that. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. And I think it's very, very good. The fact that he's accepted and moved on and realized, well, actually, aliens are potentially better than everybody else. And whilst I completely obviously don't agree with their opinions and the way that their methods and things like that, I actually like Flock a lot more in this season. And I'm not going to put him in the can't be without him. But I'm definitely putting him in and love him because I really do respect the development that he made. Alright, next one. I'm going to go Hitch. Next one. We only saw her in one episode, I think, or two. And she's the one that was basically guarding Annie. Wonderful job. And she talks to Armin a bit. And, she hasn't really changed that much, in my opinion. Just gonna put her in the middle, you know, not too good, not too bad. I don't know why I chose this guy. He's a reporter dude. I think we saw him once. We may not have even seen him. I made just to put him in here by accident, so I'm just gonna put him in the middle because that's how little I remember of him. Right, so we're down to, I mean, you look at all of these and they're all really, really important characters and they're all really, really hard to choose, you know. So the next one I want to go for is Pixis. Now, Pixis has been on like this roller coaster of like me liking him, disliking him, not really knowing, you know, what he's like. Alcoholic, not very good leader, potentially betraying Erwin. And what really gets me in this series is he's so smart to realize, well, you know, we can't fight these guys. You know, it's kind of pointless because they'll just turn everyone into Titans. So, you know, let's just do what they want and we'll go from there and see where it develops further on down the line. And I can't remember if he drank the wine because we know he's an alcoholic. He likes to drink. So I would assume that he has actually, you know, got Zeke's spinal fluid. But I do respect the way he went around this series, you know, and he had those talks with Elena, and I just think he was really good in this series. So I'm going to put him up here. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of guys in the middle ones, but not in the tops and the bottoms. All right. Now, what was this guy's name? I can't remember the guy's name. The leader of the MPs. And he's kind of like Pixis. He understands the situation. He's a smart guy. But you know, we don't see too much of him. I'm just gonna put him here in the middle. All right, so we're almost there now. Now, who should we go for next? Let's go for... I don't know who to choose because they're all very difficult. Let's go for Piccolo. Now, Piccolo is obviously a Malian, and he was actually one of the ones that came along, but he's not in agreement, not a Zeke follower, Zekeite. And so he just stays there as a prisoner and just cooks for everybody and finds his passion. And then he falls in love with Sasha. And then you're like, oh, well, okay, fair enough. And, you know, he's absolutely devastated when she dies and offers to cook for the family. So the family comes over. He finds out who Gabi is. And then, wham, he smacks poor old Falco in the face, you know. And I think that's a very understandable thing. And whilst he, you know, outwardly he hates them, you know, because of who they are and what he's brought up to believe. After spending 4 years with them, or 3 years, or however long it was, he actually respects them and, you know, likes them enough to stop them from drinking the wine. So, you know, I like that about him because he's loyal to certain people, and I love his loyalty. The thing that really just brought it down is obviously the way he reacted. He was willing to kill a child. You know, Gabi's a child. Obviously, I think he understood. You know, Gabi told him that he's a warrior. She's a warrior, so he knows that she's very potent. But I mean, it's one of the other reasons I really like Falco is the fact that he was, you know, he was willing to die for Gabi just to prove a point. So I'm gonna put him. I don't love him, but I'm gonna put him up here. I mean, I don't. You know, put him in the can't be without him. But you know, I really like his character, I because of the respect and the loyalty that he shows to everybody. All right, now Magath. I think, you know, a lot of people will see him as like a really bad guy, like, you know, like a villain. But I don't see him like that. You know, when he was in that car with Willie Tiber and they were talking about the plan and obviously they're going to kill off all the military, he realizes that the military that they have at the minute is corrupt and useless. And he understands things, you know, and he doesn't respect them, but he values the aliens' lives more than others. And you know, I like that about him. And he's a very strong commander. I think he can command the loyalty of his men. the one thing I didn't like about him is that he was willing to send 800 people to their deaths in the first episode just as a shield. I didn't like that. That obviously brought out the anti dingy resentment. So I didn't like that. But, I really, really like him as a character. I think he's a good character. I think he's a useful character. So I'm going to put him up here. I've got a lot of love-ums in this. Wow. We didn't think this through. All right, now, let's go for the next biggie. And that is probably one that a lot of you have been waiting for, and that's Reiner. Now, after season 2, I really disliked Reiner. The betrayal was just hurtful. And at season 1, I was like, well, he hasn't really done anything. So he's always been like in a meh, or I wouldn't miss him. Now, in this season, he's really come to the forefront. We saw it when he's just like down and out and just doesn't care anymore. And then the vigor and the transformation that he gets when he realizes that, actually we need to stop these guys, and we've still got a year left. I've still got a year left. I want to finish this. And so he goes from like this, this shell who just wants to kill him. Remember, he had the gun in his mouth after thinking about being the soul, the sole survivor. So he has PTSD. He's got dual personality. He's got all of these problems, and he still recovers from that to realize, well, actually, we still need to go and fight these guys because 6 months is too long. And he's like, right, Zeke isn't gonna wait 6 months, blah blah blah. And he's like, he in the end, he comes like the prominent guy, the guy. And you've got to respect the development there for him. And you've got to respect how well he's portrayed. And the voice acting is brilliant, by the way. Whoever did Reiner is fantastic. I love him now. I really do. And I think the second half, obviously I don't know anything. The second part is just going to be so integral. And I do think that he's going to be very, very torn between what he has to do. But he's still so focused on that goal. He wants to save Gabi and he wants to save Falco. But he still has that unfinished business with Eren. But I still think he's going to be torn when that battle... Because that battle is obviously going to happen. And so, for me, he's got to be... It can't be without him. Just purely because of the way he's changed in his development, Right, let's go for Sasha. Right. Now, all three of mine have been can't be without her. And that's because I loved her, and I still do. And I was very sad. I mean, I had to stand up and walk away for a few minutes and then compose myself. And I actually didn't record a video for, I think it was like 3, 4, 5 days after that. But for me, in this series, in this season, yes, she died. Her death is actually important. I just don't think she's done enough to get into that top bracket because the standards that we got this season are just so high. I just don't think I can put her up there because she didn't do anything. She shot a few guys and then she died. So she didn't really do anything. So as sad and as painful as this is for me, I've just got to put her here in a meh. Because I love her and I think she's amazing. But this season she just didn't do anything. Apart from die. Now, you guys might completely disagree with me. Again, remember, this is my personal opinion based on the season and how I feel about everything. Alright. Next one. Dr. Cassava. Now, this guy, just if we were rating this on importance of everything in the story, he's boom right at the top. He is the most influential person upon Zeke. He's the one that reveals to Zeke that the Founding Titan can do certain things. Like make everybody sterile. So without that information, Zeke would have never been able to do that unless he assumed the Titan. But that's what encouraged him even more to take that form, to win that battle. So without this guy, we wouldn't have a Zeke as a Beast Titan. We wouldn't have the plan. So that is how influential he is. And as a character, because he's such, he's the opposite of, Grisha. He's a father figure, and, he sees in Zeke what he lost in his own son. And I think that he's a really good character. I don't think he's been, because he was only in one episode, so I can't put him in the can't be without him, but I'm going to put him in the love him. Purely because of how important he was. Right. Now, we're running out of characters, so let's go to Levi. Now, Levi. It hasn't really been in this season very much. You know, we didn't see too much of him, but again, we saw Levi's brilliance. The fact that he killed 30 Titans, 30 of his own guys after they returned to Titans, just shows you how phenomenal he is and how good he is. But again, I think he's very naive in the fact that he was so close to Zeke and just assumed that Zeke wouldn't be willing to pull that pin. And then, you know, Zeke has a very good chance of still living, whereas, you know, Levi's right next to him. Very stupid. I do personally think Levi is still alive, and I'm basing that off the point that Levi heard him talk about euthanasia. And so I don't understand why they would, you know, make such a point of that if he wasn't going to survive. And so I've got to put him at the top because he is just shit hot good, you know. Now, if this was to have been done after episode number 8, you know, even episode number 1, 2, 3, you know, Gabi would be right down at the bottom in hater, because I just hated her, and obviously after episode 8, just despised her, wanted to get rid of her. But no, she developed, and she became less psychotic, even though she battered the guy to death with a brick. And you know, you could see that her opinion was changing, and it was changing, and she was actually finally starting to come round until Piccolo arrived on the scene in the last episode. And then, you know, you got that impression, right? She's gone back to where she was at the start. So, I completely disliked the first part. I liked the middle part, and I didn't like the end part for her. I think she's a really well-written character, and I do think she's very important. I just can't look past the fact that she killed Sasha. I'm sorry. I just hate her. I really do hate her. I just hate her. You know? Alright. Let's go to Jean. Now, Jean is very important. You know, he's the guy, he's the gel that bonds them all together. And I just think he's so important to all of the characters. You know, and he's the one that they would miss the most. You know, as a group. Not because he's a tactical genius. Not because he's like a really skilled fighter. He's the one that commands them and knows their strengths and their weaknesses. And I think that his development from the first season when we met him to where he is now, like, has been really amazing. And I personally think we can't be without him. I really do. That's just my opinion. Sorry if you don't like it. Now, Mikasa. Now, in all of these rankings, I put Mikasa at the top. And we learned something about her in this season, that she had the Ackermans just have like this overabundance to need to protect the things that they love the most. And you know, when Eren just comes out and he just boom smacks, you know, you're stupid, you know, you have no purpose, whatever. I can't remember what he said. And then Armin goes to punch her, and Mikasa's like stopping him. You know, I lost respect for her there, I think. I mean, obviously she probably still sees the good in Eren, but I just can't see past it. And for me, she actually drops down a couple. She actually drops down to a meh. Because I just, you know, she's lost, and I don't know, I've lost that love for her that I had in the first season. Alright, next one. Historia. Now, Historia, very important, but she's been in the background as always. So, the plan was obviously to give her the Beast Titan so she could pump out babies to keep the line going. Zeke obviously wants to end that. Now, she gets pregnant. The thing for me is, that's just so weird in the sense that it happened. I don't know if she knew about the plan. But if she didn't, I suspect that it might have been something to do with Eren. And that's just my opinion. I don't know if that's true. I suspect Eren had something to do with it to stop that from happening. Because, if that would have happened, they would have immediately given Zeke to Historia as soon as they got back. So I think, Eren must have done something. So she's very important, for sure. And a lot of people like Historia, and I like her too. I like her as a character. But she just doesn't do that much in the season at all. I mean, I know how important she is to the story, but for me, she doesn't do anything. So I'm just going to put her here in the meh. Right, now, we got the 3 biggies left. Now, Armin. Armin for me is just amazing. He has regrets about everything. He transforms into the colossal and all that destruction. You could see in his face when he finishes. Oh no. But then he just goes away as if nothing happened. Just, as if nothing happened. And that surprised me a little bit. He just continued as if, he hadn't just killed thousands of people. And, when he got battered by Eren, he took it. He just like boom, 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 boom. He couldn't fight back. And I think that Armin, to me, he's like the new hero in this series. He's the one that's going to save everybody, but you wouldn't think it. So I am going to put him up here because I just don't think I could be without him at all. Now, Eren. Oh, I remember first season Eren. I really did not like first season Eren. He was a moany, whiny bitch. But now, I think his development into a protagonist is just complete, He's been developed slowly, but this season and the last season, he's just shot up. And for me, he's so important. And everything that he does has a purpose. He's so smart. He plans everything. And I think, for me, he still has an alternate plan to Zeke. I don't think he wants the euthanasia. I think he has other plans. Or if he doesn't have other plans, he's obviously kept them from his followers. There's something not right. But that's what's so brilliant about it. I think first season Eren would have just blurted out his plan and told everybody. Whereas this Eren, no. This Eren is keeping his cards close to his chest. And I think in the first season, he would have completely trusted Piek and he wouldn't have been prepared to use his powers. Whereas now he's got his hand behind his back. He knew something was wrong. And boom, he managed to not get eaten. So for me, he has to be up here and can't be without him. Has to be. And then finally. Wow, this has been a long video. I apologise. We have Zeke. Now, I hated Zeke. Didn't like him. And now we learn so much about him. And the reason I've left this one to last is because, I just think he's so important, right? And I can't believe how beautifully written the character is. And I can't believe how beautifully written the story is and everything about that. But the thing that makes Zeke so brilliant and his story so brilliant is the fact that even though he's going to commit euthanasia or genocide, as I refer to it, because I don't think it is euthanasia because, he's killing them without their permission. You understand why, and you can, you could get behind it. And I can see a lot of people getting behind what he's doing and understand what he's doing because, he's not wrong, The world is always going to be scared of the Titans. They're always going to be used for destruction. And in 100 years' time, they're going to be useless anyway, because technology would have outstripped them, and the Malians will all be slaughtered anyway. Not Malians, the aliens will all be slaughtered anyway, and he knows this. And that's why he's cooked up this plan. And you can understand and you can get behind it. And that is just a mark of a great character. They're going to do something hideous, but you understand and you can actually support them in what they want to do. And so for me, I have to put him at the top. Because I just think he's gone from zero, absolutely hated, to integral, important, and actually I'm torn whether or not I want to believe and go with him. So, there we go. There is the tier list for season 4 part 1. Now, again, guys, please, these are my opinions. These are my thoughts. I know some of you are going to completely disagree with me. Please don't slay me. Please don't hammer me. Please just let me know nicely in the comments what you agree with, what you disagree with. This one has been very different because there is not very many characters that I can dislike in this season, which is brilliant. So thank you once again for watching this. We do still have a couple of OVA episodes to film, which I did mention at the start. I don't know when they'll be released though. But apart from that, Attack on Titan it's done. It's done. Go check out the latest poll to put your vote in for the next one that we react to, and I hope I can see you there, Wolfpack. So thank you very much, Wolfpack, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.